Everyone, welcome to this week's session or this week's lectures. As per usual, you guys, if you have questions, you can email me, you can call me, you can talk to me, text me also. That's the quickest way to respond. And I'm here to help you at every single time, okay? So this week's lecture, we're going to talk about modal verbs. And these are verbs, they're sometimes called modal verbs, they're sometimes called auxiliary verbs or modal auxiliary verbs. And what they are, it's kind of like the other verb's assistant. So sometimes you have two verbs, and one of them is an auxiliary verb, and one of them is the main verb. Okay, so these auxiliary verbs, there are a type that's called a modal verb, and they are a special verb in English, and they kind of behave irregularly. So they're not very regular like you'd see, like, for example, in other verbs you'd add ing or you'd add s at the ending. This is a little bit different. So they are different from normal verbs like work, like play, like visit, where you can say I'm playing, right? You can say he plays, he works, she visits. Okay, so you can change the ending of those, and these verbs stand kind of alone. What modal verbs do is they give additional information to the sentence or to the main function of the verb that follows it. So these are things that we know. You guys can see here some of the things that we know is they never change their ending. We kind of talked already about that. They never change their ending. You can never have an S, like you can't, for example, can is a let's do this, sorry. Okay, so can is one of our modal verbs, and we can't say cans. That doesn't work. We can't say canning. That doesn't work for the verb. So it stays as it is. The only thing we can do is keep can as it is. The second rule that we have is they are always followed by infinitive without to. Okay, so the infinitive, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I don't know, you guys should know, the infinitive is any verb that has to. Okay, so to eat is a verb that's not conjugated in any tense, and eat is the infinitive, and it usually comes with to. Okay, to eat, to play, to dance, to travel, basically any verb. Okay, with the modal verbs, we cannot have to. So we can have I can play, I can dance, she could travel, okay? But we cannot have I can to dance. That is incorrect. Okay, so we cannot say I or she could to travel. That is, as we said, it's incorrect because we don't want to have the to. And I'll give you a list of these verbs, as you guys can see down here, but we'll talk about a list of these verbs. That way you know them and you know what to look for, and you know not to use to before the dance. Before the verb. Okay? So another rule that we have, they are used to indicate modality, allow speakers to express certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, and ability. All this says really is what they allow you to do. If you use a modal verb, this is what will happen. And we're going to talk about that more down here, so I'm not going to explain it right in this section. I am going to explain it in a minute, okay? So these are a list of the verbs that we're talking about. We have can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, and must. In America, we don't often use shall, okay? We use it, we can use it, but we don't often use it. We use should, okay? In England, they use shall a lot. So here's what we have. We're gonna have here in this column the verb, and in the second column how we can use it, and in the third column examples of us using it. So what do we have? The first one we said is can, so we're gonna look at can. Can allows us to ask for ability, right? Or to show ability. I can play the piano very well. She can go to the movies tonight. He can travel to Spain this summer. We can eat dinner at 6. Okay? So here, this is also permission, but it's also ability, right? We're able to eat dinner at 6. This is what I mean here, because we can use it for permission as well. So the second thing we have is permission. And permission tells us, it gives permission for someone to do something. Can I go to the movies? Yes, you can. Okay? Yes, you can. Can she sleep over? No, she cannot, because you have school tomorrow. Okay? So we can see here, we use can for permission. Can I go? The answer is also about permission. Yes, you can. Can she sleep over? No, she cannot. And we can see here is how we use can with not, all right? With a negative. Then we have possibility, okay? So something is possible that it could happen or it can happen. So a chance. It can be a very good day tomorrow. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it can be. It can rain in December. Will it? We don't know. We don't know if it will. We don't know if it will not. We just know it's a possibility. We can, again, here we said we can't, let's go back to this one. We can eat dinner at 6. So in this case here, in this one, we kind of see like it's an ability. We are able to eat dinner at 6. Here, even though it's the same sentence, it depends on the context. We can say we can eat dinner at 6, or we can eat dinner at 7. So here what we have is we can eat dinner at 6, or we can eat dinner at 7, and that's a possibility, one or the other. Okay, so even though here we have the same sentence, it depends on the context. Next we have offer. So can be used for an offer. Can I help you with your homework? Yeah. Can I help you with this homework? Don't worry. I don't know why we have don't worry. That's the answer, I suppose. Okay? Oh, I'm so sorry. It says, oh, you guys. Don't worry. Okay, I see what I did there. I'm sorry. I can help you with your homework. Don't worry. Okay? Otherwise, it becomes permission, or it becomes a question. I can, it's an offer. I can help you with your homework. We can clean the house. Alright, so it's an offer. It's something that you are offering to do. He can take out the trash. Okay? Then we have request. You're asking for something. Can you please pass me the salt? Here we have also. Can you please help me with my homework? Can she clean her room? Can he cook breakfast? So there's a request, something that's being requested. Next verb we have is could. Okay, so we have could. Could is an ability in the past. So it's something that probably happened in the past. I could play piano well when I was 9. I could dance when I was younger. I could travel in the summer when I was still in school. Because they had summer off, right? Okay. So the next thing we have is polite permission. So we can say can be used for permission, as we said, but could is more polite. It's also for permission, but it's more polite. So let's see, what do we have? Can she sleep over? If we want to say it more polite, we can say, could she sleep over? Could you please pass the salt? So here we're making a request, but it's also a polite request. Oh, there it is. There's the polite request. So we're just going to move this down here. Wait. Okay. So then we have possibility. Again, you can kind of see the similarities between can and could, except, like I said, could is more polite. So if you want to be more polite, you can use could. A hailstorm could come here tomorrow. You know what a hailstorm is? You know those little, like when it starts raining really hard and it's kind of like little clusters of snow, like little crystallized rain? That's what hailstorm. A hailstorm could come here tomorrow. The artist could perform one of his famous songs. The artist could perform one of his famous songs. That's a possibility. He could perform it or he could not perform it. Those are different. Like we said, again, it's the same as can, it's just more polite. No problem, I could give you a lift. He could take out the trash for our elderly neighbor. Okay? He could take out the trash for our elderly neighbor. That's something. Cool? That's a polite offer. Like we said, again, polite request. Could you move to the next slide? Could you please pass the salt? Could she please close the curtains? Could she please close? Could she please close the curtains? Cool. Then our next verb is may. And may gives us a permission. So we have may is either a permission or a possibility. And we said that could is polite. May is even more polite than could. So a lot of teachers, like when kids are in school and the kid would say, can I go to the restroom or can I go to the bathroom? The teacher would say, I don't know, can you? And that's to tell them that you're not supposed to be using can for a polite permission. You're supposed to be using may. May I go to the restroom? May I leave early? May I play outside? Okay, so this is a polite permission. The second thing that may is used for is possibilities. So astronauts may discover life in other planets. They may. It's a possibility. So we can see here, when we talk about possibilities, can is the closest to happening. So can is the closest to yes. Or to no, whatever one we're using, okay? Then we have could, like it's a little bit less likely, and then we have may, which is a lot less likely, okay? So astronaut may discover life in other planet. Will they? We don't know. Is it for sure? They can discover it, but can is more certain. Or they could discover it, but could is more certain than may, okay? I may go to the Grand Canyon this spring. I may. It's a possibility. Okay? Next we have might. And might is a polite permission and a possibility. So you guys can see that they're very similar to each other. But one is more polite than the other. Might I take you home? May I take you home? Or might I take you home? May and might are almost the same in terms of politeness. Might I take you home? Might, what did we say earlier? Might she go with me to the doctor's office? Oh, sorry, that's a possibility. Might she, I don't know what to tell you. Might she stay for a little while longer? Might she stay for a little while longer? That's that. And then we have possibilities. So I might visit him tomorrow if the weather's nice. She might come with me to the doctor's office. She might come with me to the doctor's office. So we see a polite permission and then we see a possibility. So that's that. Then we have must. Must is for sure, like you have to do this. There are no other options. So it's an obligation. You have to do it. You must do your homework. She must go to class. He must get a job. Okay? And we have certainty, like we're 100% sure that this will happen. He must be at the cinema right now. He told me that about that yesterday. She must be It must be raining. How about that? It must be raining outside. I can hear the water. I can hear the water hit the window. It must be raining outside. I can hear the water hit the window. Something for sure. Why? Because I can hear it. I can hear the water. Mustn't or must not is the same. It's absolutely no. You mustn't play here. It's dangerous. She mustn't or she must not talk to her brother that way. Okay? Then we have will. Will is a prediction, like in the future. The weather forecast predicts that it'll rain, or it will rain tonight. Yeah, so that would be a prediction. I'm trying to think of another prediction, but all I can think of is the other stuff. It will be sunny tomorrow. That's another prediction. Okay, so will is also a promise. So I'll finish all the homework by Friday. Sorry. I'll finish all the homework by Friday. So yeah, I in the L, that's short for I will. Okay, so there's contractions for will. Like she'll be here on time is the same as saying she will be here on time. Okay, that's a promise. Will is also a spontaneous decision. I will go with you. I'll lend you some money. I will go with you. Okay. Then we have a request or a demand. Will you please give me that book? Will she please come with us? Will she please come with us? Right, you're asking for something, or you can say you don't have to have please there. Will she come with us? So it's okay, so that's that for will. Now we have would. And would is used as the past tense of will. Okay, my dad said he would give me some toys on my birthday. I would. Oh, then we have two auxiliary verbs. I would have gone with you, but I had homework. I would have gone with you, but I had homework. Would is also a polite request or demand. Would you mind closing the door, please? Would you please come to the meeting tomorrow? Okay, so it's a request or it's a demand. Like, for example, you would be there. You would be there. You would be there. Yeah, you would be there. Shall is, like I said, we don't usually use it in America so much, but it is used. So it's a prediction. This time tomorrow I shall be in London, right? It's usually used in England anyways. This time tomorrow I shall be in London. I shall be with you at the end of the month. Okay, and offer or suggestion. Shall we discuss this future with him? Shall I offer him something to eat? The next one we have is should. Should is an advice. You should see the doctor. It's swollen. You should not, or you shouldn't, you should not eat fast food. It is not healthy for you. Okay? Or you can say you shouldn't. Should and shouldn't, should not and shouldn't are the same. Shouldn't eat fast food. It is not healthy. Okay? So that's that. And then we have should as a prediction. The project should be done before May. She should graduate by the end of the semester. Okay? You should graduate by the end of the semester. Or a polite suggestion. Should I call her to say sorry? You should apologize to your sister because you yelled at her. Okay, you should apologize to your sister because you yelled at her. Then we have ought to. And ought to is an obligation, but it's not like must. Must is like for sure. You have to do this. Okay? It's more like a demand or more like something that's forced. Obligation or ought to is more like you should do that because you kind of have to. Okay? So you ought to say goodbye to your parents when you leave. You ought to pick up your trash. Right? You don't want to leave your trash at the park. You ought to pick up your trash from the park or whatever. Ought to is also an advice. So you're also telling someone, you're giving them advice that they should take, and they should take it seriously. You ought to sleep early. You look tired. She ought to stop talking to that boy. He is not nice. And needn't or need not, okay, is used to talk about something that's not necessary. Okay? You needn't give him any advice. He won't listen. She needn't. And again, we don't use needn't in America very much, in the US. She needn't pay for the food as her sister already paid. Okay, so her sister already paid, she doesn't need to do it. Cool? So that's that. That's for this video. We are going to have, again, in most lessons, we have 2 videos. So we are going to have another video that talks about that where we go through the worksheet and the assignment and we do it together so that you guys can know and you guys are aware of how to do these things. If you have any questions about today's lesson, you can text me, you can call, you can email, you can set up a one-on-one conversation. Or the best thing I think also, so that other classmates can see, because a lot of times you guys have the same questions, is to ask on the Q&A discussion board. Okay? So that's that, and I'll see you in the next video.